Hi, welcome to Daily Planet. I'm Jay Ingram. Natasha is away on assignment. But on the planet today, an enormous ice maze. We'll show you what it takes to build the biggest one in North America.
It's relatively mild for the middle of winter. There's little snow, and it's rained every other day. Not exactly conditions conducive to making ice, but these people are up to the challenge and more.
Okay, can we get in there?
They're trying to build the largest ice maze ever made in North America.
There's 1,900 blocks. Each block weighs about 300 pounds. So we're looking at about 500,000 pounds of ice on this site when it's finished.
Pulling it off will take a combination of art and engineering and a team from a company called Iceculture.
This is the plans for an ice maze. The maze itself is about 92 feet wide, it's about 200 feet long, and it's triangular, which gives us the challenge of the different angles on every end.
Building the massive maze begins with the challenge of getting the ice all the way from their factory, 2.5 hours away, to downtown Toronto.
There's the 400-pound weights, and they left us with the weight dolly, and we have to tie these down in case the wind catches it and wrecks that calf.
Everything must be carefully planned and in place if it's going to be ready for visitors in only a few days.
Chris, you're gonna wind over?
Start any new project like this, you get excited. You're going to do the biggest one you've ever done, and you think you're prepared. And we made lists and lists and plans and you know, schedules, and just without fail, the very first day it was off.
On the first day, they're confronted by a huge puddle, a potential disaster for a heavy structure needing a solid foundation that won't melt.
One of our team called me late the first night and just said, we're in trouble, you're going to have to think of something.
They came up with this, a plywood base to protect and support hundreds of blocks of ice. Then another problem, not enough snow.
And you need the snow to be able to level the surfaces. You can use wooden shims, but we prefer to use snow just so that it all looks aesthetically pleasing. Plus, again, you got that better bond. When it does freeze, it's much stronger. So we brought our snow machine in just to create some piles of snow to work on leveling.
Finally, the maze making begins.
What we're going to do is place the bases. Once that's placed and leveled out in a long straight line, and that's done both by staking and string and truthfully by eye, sort of standing at the end and making sure that we're happy with it aesthetically. Then we put our first layer on of full blocks, and they're placed end to end. So when two blocks butt up against each other, what we do is we run a chainsaw through it a few times to get a nice clean join. Then we go back with a pail of slush, good old snow and water, the best glue on the face of this earth, and literally just slush all the joints so that we get a solid.
Then they use a sanding device that has nails in it.
And that creates a rough surface that actually allows for more surface area to join with the water, and it also is a leveling tool.
Fortunately, the ice is forgiving.
If a piece breaks with ice, you can literally fuse it back on in regular circumstances. It is really quite forgiving. It's really about weight and then about sticking it together.
But just as things start going smoothly, they're once again confronted by the weather.
Today's challenge is the sun. Even though it's -degrees, the sun is so beautifully warm that it actually can send little fissures through the ice in a matter of minutes. This is a block crystal clear, okay, and it's protected from the sun, being in the shade right now. So I can kick it, nothing's happening. And I'll just show you this block over here. This block's been out all morning, and you'll notice when I kick it, here it'll just shatter instantly.
The sun also destroys the clarity of the ice, threatening to ruin the look Iceculture is known for.
Basically, we've got everything we need to battle all the elements. It's just a matter of keeping up.
One weapon is Mylar wrap.
It's a plastic bubble wrap, but it has like a Mylar finish on it. So not only it insulates, but also reflects. So what we're trying to do is, as a wall is built, is cover it completely in this Mylar so that we can maintain the stability of the walls throughout. So it's taking quite a lot of it, actually.
Another weapon is the shade.
We're just going to shift it around under the work area so that when an area is done, we can wrap it, move the tent, and start working on another section.
The Iceculture crew continues working against the clock. They've battled wind, rain, and above-zero temperatures where all ice begins to melt. Today, they're fighting the sun. Right now, the sun is winning.
Today it's really frustrating. We have cold weather, but really, really bright sun. And we've actually had to cut production for the day other than just a very small 3-person crew because we can't get ice up fast enough and wrap it fast enough to keep things moving. So we've sent everyone back to the hotel to get a bit of sleep. They'll come back later tonight once the sun's fallen, have some dinner, and then we'll get back at it.
Finally, a week and a half after they began, it's complete. 245 tons of crystal clear ice, lined with lights in a complicated shape. Once again, Iceculture has transformed frozen water into a work of art. Art that will eventually melt away.
Now, if you have a keen eye and you also know your cars, you might have noticed the ice maze that you just saw was in the shape of the Pontiac emblem.
The glittering maze covers over 3,000 square meters with some 2,000 giant blocks of ice. Your mission is to find the Pontiac at the center of the maze and then get back out again. The Pontiac Maze opens with the Toronto International Auto Show tomorrow morning. I believe Tom Brown went in this afternoon. We haven't seen him since.
Hope he comes in for work tomorrow.
The weather is going to be cold enough that the maze will not be melting as you wander through it.
Very good, but it'll be a chilly place to hang out.
It will be.
Of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky.
It's no traditional walk down the aisle, but wife-to-be Kathy Mitchell didn't mind. She and her groom, James Stairs, tied the knot at the Pontiac Ice Maze today, giving a new meaning to the phrase, getting cold feet. They didn't think twice about the idea.
Just to make it a little more memorable, but it's the best day of my life.
The maze is the largest of its kind in North America, covering close to 9,000 square feet and made up of about 2,000 giant ice blocks. Even their cake was made of, well, ice, of course. The couple then rode away. Hopefully for them, it's somewhere hot.